Hey guys, Dennis here.
Chrissy.
We got Alex and Dan, Muddy Water Search and Recovery.
Hello.
And before Catfish jumps on it, yes, Catfish, I was late again.
Bobby, yep, 85-mile-an-hour winds, lots of down powered lines, over 400,000. Oh my God, was that the storms that passed through the other day, Bobby?
I believe Bobby's still without power.
Oh my goodness.
He's running off a generator.
Ooh. And you made it to watch the show. Look at that.
Dedication out there.
He's a die hard.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, sir.
And Catfish says, hello, all you good-looking sidekicks. I'm here.
All right.
So, guys, thank you all for joining us tonight. A couple minutes late, of course.
Yeah.
But it's been a crazy couple weeks.
Yes. I'm dealing with stuff on my end. Alex is still trying to recover from his little spout. What do you got going on?
Research.
Yeah.
Hey, Mac, how's it going? But thank you guys for being here. I know Alex told me Jeff has been working a lot,
right?
So he wasn't able to come on tonight.
That's okay.
And very glad that Jeff and Dan and Alex and Tammy are all part of the team.
That's right. That's right. All right, let's get
pop in. I'm not sure what his work schedule is today or tonight, so I'm not sure, but he might pop in. You never know. So
never know.
See, I know we done a FaceTime the other night, me, Alex, and Jeff, and we were discussing a case, and that was my first conversation actually with Jeff that wasn't on Messenger or something, and a really good guy. I mean, really good guy. And then everybody knows Dan. Dan comments. And
yep, we know Dan.
Dan,
guys,
home man.
Yeah. And I was hoping to have the boat done to show that tonight, but I still have to get a couple more pieces to put the table together, the sonar screen mounts to, and then the transducer arm.
Yeah.
So I will have the parts after work tomorrow, and we'll finish getting that. Then Tuesday night, I'm hoping to do a live feed to show the new boat
and
setup.
I'm telling you guys, this boat, I'm not a big fan of the water. That's odd, right? I'm not a big fan of the water, but the way this boat is set up, I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited to get it out and get it going.
And Catfish's comment here, and Catfish, I was just fixing to say that. Catfish got a hold of me last night. He's had this in the works for quite some time now, and he's been telling me he's going to get us a boat.
Right.
And as many of you know, Catfish has done a lot of boat recoveries, and many times he gets to take ownership of those boats in the right conditions.
Right.
And he sent me pictures of a boat last night, and he got a hold of Alex today. Beautiful boat.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And Catfish, that is awesome, and we are so incredibly thankful to you.
Yes.
We are. We definitely appreciate that. And you know, when we can make that journey and meet up with you and go over everything, that's gonna be pretty awesome. And that's so thankful and kind of you to do this for us. And we greatly appreciate it. And we can never thank you enough for what you have done for us. So we greatly appreciate that, Bobby.
And I'm ready to meet Catfish in person anyway. As much as we pick on each other and have fun on here and on the phone, I can't wait to meet him in person.
Watch, he's probably completely different in person.
You better not be. I'll be disappointed. And I'll even bring you a Pepsi, Catfish.
Hey. All right. So that's done. We should be right here. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Alex, you want to give us I'm sorry? You want to give us an update with that blip billboard?
Yeah, so I I had been working on Abbi Schaffer's blip billboard, and in the past, I ran her billboard, and it went for a week. Then Abby's sister has reached out to me and asked about running it some more, so I redid it. Basically what it's called duplicating. So you just duplicate it and then you send it on its way, and then it has to be approved, and then it starts working. Well, for some reason it kept denying the artwork, and it kept kicking it out. So I basically was messing with it, and I couldn't get it to work right. And then my contact, who is kind of like my personal tech person with Blip, I've reached out to him. I've texted him, I've called him, and nothing. He's not responding to me. And they have a online chat feature that you can talk to people. Well, I've done that about 1,000 times, and they're not responding to me. So I'm not sure what's going on. But at the same time, I have Randy's billboard going as usual, and it's running just perfectly fine, and there was no issues.
Quick, go.
So Abby's sister had sent me some bigger pictures of Abbi herself. Her sister sent me. And this allowed me to use bigger pictures. So I thought maybe, they kept rejecting it because of the artwork size. So I redid it, and they still haven't done it. And it says it's in review, and I don't understand, or actually it says it's waiting to launch. So I don't know what's going on with that. But her sister is very nice, very sweet. And I have told Dennis that I did ask them that if the offer was out there, that if the family, the sister, the family, if anybody ever wanted to come on a Sunday night show and talk about Abby's case, that the offer was there, we were more than welcome to work with them, and, help, keep her sister's stuff going and stuff. So, I don't know why the Blip is having a glitch or an issue. I don't understand why nobody's not calling me back, and I don't understand why the online chat thing's not working. So that was just a quick update on that, because I usually, try to run Blip ads weekly with missing people. So. And then, I'll throw this out there that if you have a case and you would like Muddy Waters to do something with the digital billboards with a missing persons case, please reach out to us. You can email us. Everybody knows how to get a hold of us. But the information's on there. Dennis puts all our information out there, and what I can do is hopefully this gets resolved in the next day or two. But if you have a case that you would like somebody, put on a digital billboard, I will try to research it and see if the digital billboards are in that area where that person went missing. So that's where we're at with that right now.
Well, that's not great.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
I never have issues out of them at all. I always answer the phone. They always, get back in a timely manner. And for some reason this time, it's just been a pain in the butt. And I really don't understand what's going on. And I don't understand why nobody's not messaging me back, either through the chat or calling me or anything. Because I've left messages, text messages, the online chat help, area, and nothing, zilch. So.
Seeing, I know Abby's sister oftentimes watches the live streams and videos, and we just want her to know this isn't something that's getting swept under the rug or that Alex isn't working on.
It's just, this is odd. that this is happening. So
And you want to do a quick rundown on that?
I'm actually going to let you, we're going to do another rundown of Miss Abbi here. Abbi Rain Schaffer, she's missing from Kansas City, Missouri. She went missing May 23rd of 22. Her age is 22. Let's see. She went missing at 12:30 p.m. She was getting into a dark gray 4-door car with an unknown adult male. Let's see. Abbi was last known to be wearing a tan-colored long-sleeve crop top, black leggings, and gray Nike sandals. If you have any information, you call the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department, the Department of Sex Crimes and Missing Person Cases. But I don't know. Do you have a picture? There she is. Okay. 5'2". She's 120 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. So she's a very pretty girl.
And this is one of the cases, honestly, we can't say that we think she's deceased, and we can't say that we think she's still alive,
Right.
but we do have some searches coming up on her very soon.
But yeah, I mean, gosh only knows what's happened here. Actually, the pictures were actually taken from a Ring doorbell footage before she went missing here.
Yeah, I believe the ones that are coming up to a door, and then the picture, I believe I think, did we not find out that was like a BMW 325?
If you look, I don't know how well the picture is, but yeah, it's a BMW.
Yeah. I believe that door the Ring doorbell picture was taken before she went and got in that car.
Right.
Is that correct?
Right. It was taken right before she got in the car, I believe.
Yeah, right.
Before she went missing. Jen says, if you're having problems, chances are others, as often when smallpox companies have tech problems, they should. Oh, this is for you, Alex. I'm sorry, Jen. I'm all over the place here. That one's for you, Alex, about the what is it? There it is.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Can you post Jennifer's comment? Because I don't have a phone, so I can read the comments. Thank you.
Oh. Gotta love autocorrect, huh, Jen? Not smallpox, guys. Small companies. You're all right. When I read that, I went, what? There's smallpox outbreak now too? So what do you think might have happened to poor Abbi here? I think she just do we know anything about what is her sister, how much we can mention live? Any problems at home that we can?
Alex has spoken with her quite a bit.
What do you know, Alex?
I've spoken with her sister quite a bit. I kind of feel they are kind of on the 50-50 that she's possibly still alive. She might be held, captive by somebody. And then there is, the unfortunate that they think she's no longer with us.
Right.
In the end result is she evidently, unfortunately, was involved with the wrong person. Because no matter what, this has led to her not being with us.
Did the sister say whether that guy that's in the BMW, could that be like boyfriend, or do you know?
She hasn't made that comment to me.
Okay. All right.
She just, she sounds, from what I gathered from talking to her sister, she was a very loving person. She was very close to her family. It kind of sounds like she was very close with their other sister. And it's not like her to communicate or, be on social media. I think that's some of the stuff that she had discussed with me. But like I said, I made the offer that if she, if she herself or the family would like to come on live and talk with us about it, and, they could possibly go into some other details of possibly, what they think, what they are led to believe. We will just wait and see if they take us up on the offer to, come on a show and talk with us, whether it's a live show or a pre-recorded. But anything is positive movement forward, trying to keep her story, in the public eye, social media, thing and everything.
Hey, Dan,
Hopefully,
do you have a theory of what might have happened there, Dan?
Well, it's kind of tough to tell because you don't really know if she knew the person in the car, but she didn't seem scared of the person that was in the car.
No, I mean, it's in the picture. I mean, I don't know how well it shows, but they're just standing there. It looks like just talking.
Yeah, she's
No,
got her
I'm not-
hands on her
I'm not
hip.
sure.
It's not like she was afraid of anything, but it may be just some guy trying to flirt with her. You never know.
Right.
But I'm
Yeah.
just going to hope that she's safe
Yeah.
because for someone to disappear right after a picture like that's taken, it only makes you think one thing, that person in the car is possibly
Yep.
involved.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
after the first time that Muddy Waters had, talked about Abby's case, I did post pictures of the car, asked if people could help identify it. We did pretty much identify it, and then I searched for days on Marketplace trying to find one of those cars, especially one looked like it had just been painted. I tried running that trail down and then trying to look at people who were selling those cars and then trying to see if they were on her Facebook friends list. And unfortunately, I didn't get anywhere with it.
Now, do you remember what model of
Yeah.
vehicle that was?
That's what I was just trying to see if it's a newer model or.
When I put that out, I think everybody that answered me was telling me it was a 325i because it has on the back, it has that little wing antenna thing, and I think there was models that had that.
Yeah.
I want to say a 325i or a 3. I'd have to go back and find that post and see what everybody responded. Everybody, but I had quite a few people that was like, no, that's what that car is exactly, because it little antenna thing on the back of the roof line, on the back of the roof. So
there is one extra thing I forgot to mention about Miss Abbi. She does have a tattoo of a large fish on her upper right arm. So
yeah, she has a very big tattoo. And then I think on the other side, she has some other tattoos or something. So
I don't know how well you can see it, but that third picture there kind of shows how big that tattoo is. And like I said, she's a very pretty girl. I hope she's okay.
And that third picture is the picture that I had used before on the digital billboards that did run, because it does show that tattoo, and it's a very tattoo. It's a very beautiful, pretty artwork. And then when Abby's sister sent me the bigger pictures, that's the same picture I used this time, but it's like 3 times as big as the original picture. So, well, hopefully Blip will get this resolved, because I have it on 4 different billboards that are the closest ones to the Kansas City, Missouri border. So hopefully it'll get resolved.
Yes. Okay, moving on here. Update on Oklahoma, Dan.
We're
Not to put you on spot,
We're pretty much waiting for Luther to give the okay for a search on a certain property out here. They're concerned if the property owners don't give permission, it's going to be hard to get a warrant because of the case being so old.
Okay. Jen says it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Is it true that tattoos decrease a person's chance of being a trafficking victim? I heard this, but don't know if there's any truth to it. I would think so, because I don't know. That's a good question, though, Jen. That's a very good question.
Tattoos can always be removed.
Right. Or a dead indicator if you're out somewhere and you see her. Oh, that's that girl with that tattoo they were talking. See, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah.
This is kind of odd, and I just want to throw this out there. And this is something. So last year when I had COVID, as many of you know, I almost died from COVID. I was in and out of the hospital for 2 months, and I was at North Kansas City Hospital. And what I found was very strange is most of all the young nurses or anybody that was a female who was probably 20 to 25 years old, every single person that came into my room that either was checking my vitals, taking my blood, was bringing me my food, every single young girl had tattoos. Now, I know
it's the normal thing nowadays.
I know it's kind of silly to think this, but I'm just thinking I mean, we know that the most of the sex trafficking age range of young women are, in this age range group. And I'm just curious, does it make a difference whether or not people are grabbed that do have tattoos, very large distinguishing, because Abbi has a very large distinguishing tattoo on her arm. Very distinguishing. So, thank you.
That looked like she was
I know.
bringing him a margarita.
Is that what that was, Tammy?
It was a piece of cake.
Oh, it's a piece of cake. I was going to say, how dare you?
It's
Robin share.
It's Megan's, my daughter-in-law. It's her birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Megan.
So, well, they're all downstairs at the moment. So
Yeah.
I'm up in one of the beds. So,
But I would think with tattoos, I think that would be something they wouldn't want, because like I said, if they're out and about and you see them and you happen to know that person's case and you see that tattoo, I would think, oh, there she is. We need to call somebody right now. So,
because hers is
or
going to stand
Dan's,
out at you.
or Dan's theory, they can always be removed.
True.
So, but that was a good question, Jen. Absolutely.
It does cost quite a bit of money to get them removed, though. So it's whether or not a trafficker wants to spend that kind of money to remove a tattoo just to be able to sell that person.
yeah.
Right. I have 9 tattoos. Most of mine are hidden, but I mean, I was about that age range when I got mine. So yeah. Happy birthday, Jen. Joanne. Whichever one you are tonight.
I'm seeing Jennifer says if tattoos are done in a legal shop, any tattoos given from that shop get reported to a federal database.
What? You're
That's
kidding.
good, you know?
Oh wow. I wonder if mine did.
You're on the list.
Oh,
Kristen.
great. I'm on the list.
My tattoo was done with Jeff, and we were in a apartment building
Yeah.
when me and Jeff were tattoos.
Yeah.
So
9 tattoos, 9 piercings. What do you got? Nothing.
My ears are
Your
pierced.
ears are pierced.
I never wear earrings no more, but
Yeah.
my ears are pierced.
All
And Jen says she was told that by a shop.
Well, I'll be darned. Again, sorry, Joanne. Sorry.
And guys, the Oklahoma update, we don't want to, give the name or the location at the moment.
Mm-mm.
As Dad said, waiting on law enforcement to give the okay. So they are involved and up to date with what's going on, as well as the Oklahoma search and recovery coordinator. I've spoke with him. Dan spoke with him. He's a really nice guy and very experienced. So hopefully this will continue to work out in this property search, because I honestly feel there's going to be more than one body on this property.
Yeah.
Yes, especially after what I found out yesterday. It was a dumping ground from 06 on.
Yeah.
Good night.
There was wasn't it like 16 bodies have been found since 06?
That was on a compound in Edmond. It's like 16 miles away. But OSBI's working that case. I believe they seized the property. They dug up all the remains, but it was 16 bodies. And it belonged to a certain racial group.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
So hopefully this continues to play out
Yeah.
and the rest of these people can be brought home.
Right.
So
Good.
with 16 bodies, are we talking gang related? Or are we talking serial killer at this point? What is the when
White supremacists.
All right.
Yeah, hate group.
A
It's
hate
a
group.
hate
Yep.
group.
Lovely. Wow. All right. You want to talk about Angela Green? Go ahead. You can do
Angela Green.
it. Do you have that? Or do you want me to do it?
This case, we have a case that's come back into us shortly after Angela Green went missing here in Kansas. We were contacted and asked to help search for her. At the time, it was under heavy investigation with law enforcement. They were still following through on search warrants. So we felt it better to step back, let them complete their job. And if they don't find anything, come in at a later date to help.
Right.
Well, this has come back to us. They have not found her. So we
Okay.
will be digging back in if you want to.
Right. Okay, real quick. You have a photo of her?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is Angela Green. Let me get her up there. All right. She's missing from Prairie Village in Kansas here. June 19th, 2019. At the time of her disappearance, she was 51. Let's see. There have been conflicting reports as to what happened to, as well as where Angela is. Angela's daughter was told by her dad that Angela had passed away in July of a stroke, but she's not sure of this or any of his other claims. The police have gotten some conflicting statements about her whereabouts. They are treating Angela's case as a missing persons investigation. They're working with other agencies. Let's see. Brown hair, brown eyes. She would be held, when it was this, 19? So she's blah, 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 blah. Yeah, if you have any information regarding Angela's disappearance, Prairie Village Police, so on.
And something interesting with this case that stuck out is her daughter had been away at school, had come home. She had gotten into an argument with her mom and went to stay with her boyfriend. Then a short time later, she goes home and her dad tells her that her mom was put into a hospital because she had a mental breakdown. And
So
that,
not the stroke, it was a mental breakdown
right,
now? Oh,
and
goodness.
that she had passed away.
Okay.
And that he didn't tell her what hospital it was. He later tells her that somebody came in an unmarked van, that she had been cremated, and they dropped her remains off.
Why would he do that to her? My goodness.
They have searched. There is no record of her death, no record of her being in a hospital, nothing.
So, okay, I understand that the dad is all over the place with this. What is going on with the dad here? Why is he so out in left field with this?
Once we figure that out, we will find where she is.
Oh my goodness gracious. Did they have problems at home? Do you know? Between him and her?
That I don't really know.
Because it sounds like it.
Because we didn't dig too far into it at the time with law enforcement so active in it.
Right.
So we will be digging further in and providing updates for everybody as we get more information.
I cannot believe her dad, the husband, would do that to the daughter. I mean,
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
What state?
Prairie Village. So here in Kansas.
Prairie Village, Kansas. It's about 35, 40 minutes basically from us.
Yeah.
30 minutes, give or take, depending on
I
traffic.
don't think it's Prairie Village. I think it's the name of a building area, you know. But yeah.
See, I know they searched the house. They searched another property that the husband owned. They searched in storage units. So
I agree with Mac. Sounds like dad did something. Yeah. I mean, it's one lie after another. My goodness.
You know, I have a friend who was on the Prairie Village Police Department.
Oh, were you? Do you
I,
know?
I'm still with him to this day. I just don't know if he was there in 19 or not.
Yeah.
And I've talked with him many times about multiple, missing people, and he's never brought this case up to me. That's interesting.
Oh, lovely.
See, and this went for months that I haven't seen or heard anything of it. And then this come back up. So I did check it out, and it shows she is still missing. And it's like,
I mean, we probably have no idea, but I'm wondering if the husband has like some kind of connection in law enforcement somehow. That he's able to go, keep this under wraps. If,
see,
gosh.
Tim, from what my initial feeling of the husband was, is he was an intelligent guy, very smart.
Yeah.
So if he is involved in this, I don't see him putting her in an obvious place like that. I think he would have had that thought out. But then when you look at his statements to the daughter and everything, then you're looking at it like, how smart is this
Yeah,
guy?
right. I mean, good night. That poor lady.
And Jen, is dad's mental health slipping? If you're even halfway intelligent, that's a very bad
Right.
excuse story to cover your tracks.
And as bad as it sounds, Jen makes total sense. If you're going to commit a crime like this, you need to cross your T's and dot your I's. You can't leave anything out of place. So, yeah.
So if anybody's watching this who has any strange, weird ideas, do not take Chrissy's advice.
I'm sorry. It makes sense, doesn't it? You have to know what you're doing. I mean,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I'm going to leave now. See ya. No.
As Jen says here, it would have been easier to say she left before.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Okay, I don't even know how to pronounce this lady's last name. Ishkuntana?
This case, we had somebody reach out that we are working on a case very similar. It's not a missing persons case, but the family desperately needs help.
Yeah, this story right here is kind of it's very heartbreaking to me.
Yes.
No.
So
you want me to do it or
what we're going to do is tonight I've got a report from 41 Action News that covered this story to give you guys a rundown of what's going on. I will be speaking with her mother this week and we'll get more information, but we want to kind of get this out there and would like you guys' opinion on this as well.
Am I reading all of this?
Yeah, that's the full report.
All right.
Hey,
Hi, Carrie. All right, hang in there with me, guys. This is coming from Blue Summit, Missouri. A local mother who lost her daughter more than a year ago still knows very little about her death. One agency says she died from suicide, but law enforcement still has her death under investigation. Bridget Walsh.
That's her mother.
Bridget Walsh? Okay. Said she knows very little about what happened the day her daughter, Noelle Ishkuntana, and if I butchered that, I am so sorry, died. No answers. I'm nowhere closer than the minute we were told that she was gone, Walsh said. It was Saturday, June 9th, 2018. Noelle was 26. I don't know how she landed at her boyfriend's house, but 24 hours later, she was found hanging in the backyard, Walsh said. That reality plays over and over in her mother's head. The family members getting an erratic phone call from Noelle's boyfriend saying she was dead. They called hospitals and police stations. They finally located Noelle's body at the morgue. We buried her the next day, and I needed answers, Walsh said. Walsh said days after she found out Noelle was dead, and after many calls to law enforcement, detectives came to her apartment. They came here and told us it was suicide, she said. Then they told Walsh that Noelle was found hanging in a tree in the backyard of a home in Blue Summit, Missouri around 8 p.m. that night. Noelle's boyfriend lives on the property. Noelle struggled with mental health issues and drug addiction the majority of her 20s, her mother said. However, Walsh said she knew no indication that her daughter would end her own life. More than a year has passed, and despite repeated requests, Jackson County won't give Walsh the autopsy reports or police reports. Walsh said it's been a struggle getting a hold of the detective. She hasn't heard from him in a year. At any point of me trying to get any information, they say, well, it's still under investigation. 41 Action News also requested the autopsy report and police report from Jackson County, but was told the same thing. The case is still under investigation, and under state law, officials aren't required to release anything. However, a spokesperson for the Jackson County Sheriff's Office confirmed they are not investigating Noelle's death as suspicious. They have listed it as a dead body investigation. I've never heard that, but duh. However, okay, I just read that. I don't know their purpose in keeping an open investigation. What is the purpose? Tell me, Walsh said. Noelle's death certificate says she died by suicide. Walsh said she's had conversations with the county medical examiner, who told her he did not perform a full autopsy on Noelle's body, but his side of things were wrapped up. Because her children were raised Muslim, Walsh and Noelle's sister cleaned and prepared the body for burial at the mosque. We saw everything from top to bottom, every part of my daughter. Walsh said she noticed blood on her daughter's head and leaves in her hair. She believes a full autopsy would help fill in the blanks. Over the last 5 years, 1,100 suicide cases were forwarded to the medical examiner's office. Only 182 received full autopsy. 22 received a partial, and 85 received an external. 854, excuse me. Do we have to go down the list of what an autopsy?
No.
Okay. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Okay. 41 Action News went to the home where Noelle's body was found to get answers, but no one answered the door. Reporter Sarah Plake talked with Noelle's boyfriend over the phone. He did not want to go on camera and would not provide his account of what happened. Unfortunately, I can remember pretty vividly, said a neighbor. Can I say his name?
No.
Okay.
You can, but
I'm not going to. This neighbor, they live right next door. They were excited to see Noelle that morning because she had just gotten out of jail. She was in good spirits, they said. Everything seems fine until one of the people they had living in the back house over there came over hollering. She's hanging in a tree, the neighbor said. He ran next door and could tell she was already gone. He said Noelle's toes were barely touching the ground and recalls the rope was just strewn up real crazy in the tree branches. He said he had to wake up her boyfriend, who doesn't know what they were doing before she died. It's like it happened yesterday to us, said the neighbor. We liked Noelle. Walsh said she wonders if investigators were taking into an account an assault that allegedly happened at the house 2 years prior when Walsh said Noelle's boyfriend beat her. Their relationship was always very bumpy, Walsh said. According to incident reports, detectives interviewed Noelle at a hospital. She claimed her boyfriend attacked her. Her face was swollen and she had severe bruising on her head, neck, face, chest, and arms. The report said that Noelle was distraught and feared for her life. We went to court. She wouldn't go inside. She was scared, Walsh recalled. Prosecutors said they needed witness protection to move these cases forward, but in this case, there was no video evidence. Noelle's boyfriend has never been charged with a crime. Walsh said she always hoped Noelle had her 7th child, would be able to overcome her addictions and live a productive life. She was a value. She was my baby girl. She was and she is, Walsh said. Walsh is now raising Noelle's first young daughter, who often prays to her mama, Noelle. They miss Noelle's feisty, free spirit. Walsh said she feels her daughter's presence every day. She didn't have much dignity in the last years of her life. She deserves it in her death. As most mothers would do, Walsh said she will not stop asking questions until she knows what happens to her daughter the day she died. I don't mean to belittle suicide at all, but it's an answer. It would be an answer. I would be able to start my mourning process because I would know. I am still stuck on June 9th. I'm still stuck. Oh my goodness. I don't know how I didn't cry through that. Oh my goodness.
Seeing as Joanne says, this sounds about as sketchy as Aaron Key's case.
Hi, Lisa.
And Lisa, they keep the case open so they don't have to release the information even though they aren't investigating.
Megan and I were discussing this earlier. Our theory, we think obviously the boyfriend had something to do with it. He may have lost his temper and beat her to the point of killing her and then tried to make it look like suicide.
Now, the case has been closed since that report, as well as an autopsy report was never done. Just a toxicology report was done.
And that's okay, apparently. Goodness.
It's like seeing Aaron's case all over again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Jen, what kind of drugs were they into? I'm wondering if they took something that caused blackouts.
Well, you take too much of one and you...
Because I'm supposed to I haven't talked to her mom on the phone yet. We've messaged back and forth, but we're going to be talking on the phone this week. And that is something that I can definitely ask.
My goodness. This poor mother. I mean, she's...
Unfortunately, if you read the reports, it looks like they all just got together, and because all the reports from each detective are identical.
Lovely.
See, and that's kind of like with Alex Van Delson's case.
Yes.
Yeah.
You had the detectives whose stuff was pretty much identical, but then you had the local law enforcement whose stuff was different.
Not to mention the rope that was up in the tree.
It was, according to this, I mean, it just sounds like they just threw it over there and called it a day.
Y'all will get to see the pictures, but
I see it.
if I knew how to share them, I'd share them, but that rope looks too thin for somebody to be able to do that with.
Jen has a good statement here. Also, how soon was the last child delivered? It could be postpartum, which I totally understand that.
See, and Noelle just had the one daughter. Dan, do you know how old the daughter was?
Because from that picture, she looks awfully tiny, but I don't know how old that picture is there. Because
That
was a baby now.
few months old infant there.
Yeah. Hi, Katie. Okay, Diver. Hey. Oh, goodness. This is horrible. Oh.
And jump in real quick. Hey, okay, Diver. Dan is a member of the Muddy Water team, and he's probably not too far from where you're at.
Oh, yeah.
The daughter's 4 years old.
4 years old.
All right.
Where is OK Diver at?
Do you hear him? Where is OK Diver at? Exactly. Okay, Diver. But yeah. Oh my goodness.
This one, when I started reading through that, I mean, literally flashes of.
He's an hour away.
Yeah, hour. Yeah.
Lisa says that tree doesn't look like it would support the weight of a grown human as well.
If you remember, it said her toes were barely touching the ground. I mean, obviously, if you're going to do something like that, you don't need much. I'm assuming, but I mean, goodness.
And it seems to me, and again, I haven't talked to her yet, but when they were cleaning the body at the morgue, if this was a hanging, there's going to be damage internally and externally to the neck. So they would have seen something there.
And all they mentioned is they found some blood in her hair and some debris. So
And I haven't seen anything on this yet either that says if her hands were
bound.
tied or bound.
Yeah.
So let's back up a little bit. So when they found her, she was physically still hanging in the tree, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. But the reporting that there was blood in her hair, and did you say like debris, like
Leaves.
leaves, grass?
Yeah, leaves on the ground. Yes.
They drug her with the rope, and I'm not trying to be graphic or disrespectful, but they drug her with the rope, and then they just threw it up over the tree branch, and then pulled her up good enough to get her off the ground, throw her over one time, and then just. I mean, that's what it sounds like happened to me.
That's what
Yes.
Megan and I said. They just, something happened inside the home. This is our theory. Something happened inside the home. She was killed. So now we've got to figure out how to make it look something else, like something else happened. So let's drag her and hang her. God, that sounds so morbid. I am so apologizing for that. That sounded horrible.
Hard to
But-
discuss things in detail, but when you try to talk through things and look at it, I mean, unfortunately, sometimes it's pretty morbid and disturbing how you try to come to conclusion how someone,
Right.
but yeah, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't sound.
Yeah. Jen says, I can't come to a reasonable answer for a head wound to coincide with a suicide. Exactly. Lisa said Alex has a very good point, and Mac even said cover up. Yep.
Seeing Jen's there with the head wound, Aaron Key had all the facial wounds and stuff, and they said it was hanging.
Yeah.
And she's got wounds to her face, and they're saying hanging. I mean,
what got me is when her mother and sister were cleaning her up, they didn't notice anything to the neck, correct?
And I got to confirm that when I talked to her, but I haven't seen anything about that.
So she wouldn't have been on that rope. That rope wouldn't have been on her very long then, because there would still be, I would think, indentions at some point, right? Or bruising or something.
Rope burns.
Yeah.
Her mom just said that her feet were touching the ground and her knees were bent when the cops got there.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
So if that's the case, then this isn't a hanging.
Her feet were touching the ground and her knees were bent.
Correct.
Right?
So if she would have been standing, that rope would not have been tight.
Unless it was and it slipped and she went down. But
Dan, did you say that all the police reports were identically the same by all the?
she would have had
They look like it.
loose. She fell.
They're in our email.
So let me ask this question: how in the world can we have? And I'm not going down the path that there was a cover up. I'm not saying that, by the police. But what I'm saying is you mean to tell me that all these reporting officers, detectives, they all had the same schooling and knowledge, and every single one of them came to the same conclusion that she hung herself? Not one out of a handful said, "Wait a minute, this doesn't make sense, fellas." Or, gang, whatever, however you want to say, if there was women and men involved. I'm just simply saying, how in the world did they all come to the same conclusion? Unless it was a cover up by something, but I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to go down that hole.
No, that's very true. I agree with you, Alex. Why are they all agreeing on the same thing?
Yeah.
Doesn't anyone have any? Excuse me, I have a problem with this.
But
now she was a CI.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Say it again, Dan, so we can make sure everybody heard that.
She was a confidential informant for the police.
Yep. So right there is another big piece to the puzzle.
And Jennifer, does that not signify that rigor mortis set in prior to the hanging?
How long does it take before rigor mortis sets in?
What? I was going to throw this out there too. and I'm not trying to say one way or another, but I'm just saying, does the average person know enough about the human body that they can honestly say, well, I think they was hung and they broke their neck, but I don't know, because I don't know. I don't have an x-ray machine. I can't physically look. I mean, I'm not saying this like the mother or them, but did they actually know what to look for to say, yeah, look at her neck, this could have happened this way, or it didn't? You know what I'm trying to say?
Right. But
Yeah.
isn't it most people that do hang themselves or whatnot, aren't there usually like there has to be some kind of rope burn or bruising at something, because that's fragile skin right there. I think there would be something. And rigor mortis appears approximately 2 hours after death. So, and it'll be completely done by 6 to 8 hours after death. So,
Oh, that's timing.
oh, thanks, Jen.
What
And
doesn't,
Joanne.
what doesn't make no sense is why wasn't an autopsy performed?
Exactly. Why? What's the problem here?
Because seeing her there, feet on the ground, knees bent,
Oh, yeah.
that's going to raise questions on if this was a suicide or not. So a full autopsy should have been done.
And what's to say she wasn't hanging in that tree very long? So maybe, Alex, you might be right on it there about there may not be any marks. Depends on how long you're on there. I don't know.
I'm not trying to change anybody's this or that, but you just try to look at it as a logical explanation or a legitimate explanation. And like I said, I mean, does any of us know if someone is hung by their neck, what certain vertebrae in their neck that it's going to pop loose and snap? I mean, do we know what the marks in the neck are exactly going to look like? From
The marks in the neck will have a V mark when they're hanging from a tree.
Okay.
For a suicide. Now, if someone was drugged with a rope around their neck, it would be a complete circle around the neck. There would not be a V mark.
So is that even the case, Dan? Like, say, they're killed in the house within 10 minutes. I got the rope and dragging them, and would that leave a mark just that little bit of time?
It depends on how long were they killed in the house.
Okay.
Because blood flow stops. And when there's no blood flow, there ain't going to be no bruising.
Right.
That is true.
Goodness.
And
makes you
I've got a lot of questions on this one, but I'm not ready to say one way or the other yet till I get more information on it. But this one definitely has a lot of flags for me already.
Goodness. This one already, I mean, I've read this, but it's so frustrating because I feel bad for the mother. I feel bad for obviously Noelle, her daughter. The way this was all put together. Yeah.
Now, her mother does have something going on in Congress called Noelle's Law, as well as another law that it's basically about how CIs are used and what law enforcement can and cannot do, what they... It's pretty straight up law. Whether or not it gets passed is another story, but she's trying to push it. The Noelle's Law is a mimic of Rachel's Law in Florida.
Right. Oh. Lisa said cops are determining the causes of death. State medical examiner in most states go along with what the cops say. There is a V mark at the back of the neck 100% of the time. And Joanne, usually it's C2, your second cervical vertebrae, hence the name hangman's fracture. I did not know that one. I like that one. Thank you. If they're hanging very long, the neck will elongate where the vertebrae will separate. Oh my goodness. And the C2 circles around the spinal cord. So, yeah. Oh gosh, it elongates the neck. Oh goodness.
See, and this is why I love these open discussion live feeds.
Yeah,
'cause
I never knew any of this. Thank you guys, Joanne, Lisa, thank you, Dan, everybody. Alex, yeah, we thank you too, yeah.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. It does help to talk through this.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because let's be honest. When we think about something or we're trying to understand something, you know, we talk to our friends and peers, and then we go to Google, and then
Yeah.
we go to YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But
We-
yeah.
Nobody opens up encyclopedia no more because we have Google and YouTube.
You can have an encyclopedia on an app on your phone now. Anyway,
It's
Yeah, but
easier to Google
that
it.
takes too much reading.
I know, right? Lisa says sometimes the neck is like a foot long.
Yeah. it
Lisa,
will.
goodness.
That's
Oh, goodness. Well, anyway, that is the story of Noelle, and this really bothers me. This story, my goodness.
I don't know if this is going to be the topic. And then read it.
Okay, let me get my paper here. You want me to just read that one right there?
is
The
this
next one we're talking about?
This one.
Okay.
But then as soon as you do,
Okay.
jump
All right.
into that.
So, anything else to comment on Noelle's? Anybody? Dan? Alex?
I mean, I'm ready for an update when Dennis speaks. You know, who's ever the contact on this one.
Yeah.
What town was this in?
This was Blue Summit, Missouri.
Where's Blue Summit at?
I have no idea.
Jackson County.
Jackson County. That's right.
You sure it's not Lee Summit?
Says Blue Summit. And that's repeated 2 or 3 times in here.
Hang on, I got the police report right here.
All right.
Jackson County Sheriff's Department. It's Lee Summit.
Okay. Because Blue Summit, that's new, but I don't know Missouri, so
Okay, so once again, that's 30-40 minutes away from us.
okay. So should we relabel that Blue or Lee Summit?
I would.
That's not Blue Summit. That's Lee Summit.
Well, it's in the 41 report that it was Blue Summit. I just copied and
Okay.
pasted
Well,
theirs.
we're gonna change that because Dan just looked it up. Okay. So on to the next topic. Oh wait, what did Joanne say? Max says the open discussions are the best.
Okay, so her mom said it did happen in Blue Summit. That's where the house is. But Lee Summit, Jackson County Sheriff's Department is the only ones that handled the case.
Whoops.
I honestly, I mean, I've been here my whole life. I've never heard of Blue Summit.
Right. I've never either. That's why I was like, I wanted to say Lee Summit, but I'm like, no, that says Blue. Okay.
The
So-
police report says Lee Summit.
Right.
Holtz Summit also in Missouri,
Yeah.
but
Lisa
that's
says it's right out of Kansas City, outside. Yeah. Joanne, my nursing career pays off sometimes. And my son received a hangman's fracture in a wreck in 2005 and had to wear a halo for several
Ooh.
months. Oh my goodness,
Wow.
poor thing. Okay. Next topic. Guess what? It's Randy. Randy Leach. Ask our viewers their theories once again and discuss each possible theory that is mentioned. All right, guys. Time to shine.
Is
Hey.
there shared jurisdiction?
Hey. Dennis, that last comment on the sheet that you wrote on our itinerary sheet. Do you want me to explain that right before Randy stuff comes up?
Yeah, we probably should on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, I know this has come up quite a few times. And so we're just going to go over it again because everybody's on the same page.
Recently.
So in 1988, there was Linwood High School and there was the Linwood School District. And that was in Leavenworth County. There was also the Baser School District, which was also in Leavenworth County. this was 1988. So the end of 1988, the school districts combined. So it became Baser Linwood High School, Baser Linwood Middle School, and then, they had the elementary schools. So I know there's been quite a bit of talking, discussion, with numerous people trying to understand everything, especially when we talk about maps, we talk about locations, we talk about my involvement in this. So my involvement is I was a freshman at Baser Linwood High School in 1989. So the freshman, sophomore, junior class of the Linwood High School, they all came to the old Baser High School in Baser, Kansas, and the school districts, like I said, the districts combined, and it was named Baser Linwood High School. So I was a freshman in 1989. So we're talking 4.5 months after Randy went missing. New school year started, and the schools were combined. So, therefore, I was in school with the Linwood High School kids who went missing when Randy went missing. I was, in school with those kids. That was the underclassmen of, the freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. So I know there's been a little bit of confusion here and there when we talk about all this stuff and the schools and basically where, how things were, where the kids went to school. So, just trying to clear that up. And if anybody's got any questions, anything like that, I know that some of the Linwood High School teachers did come over to the Baser High School school building when the schools combined. Myself, I was not in either district. My mom and dad paid tuition for me to go to school at Baser Linwood because I would have had to have gone to Washington High School in Kansas City, Kansas. And my mom and dad didn't want me going to school there. They wanted me to go to school out in the country. So that's how I ended up in that school district as a freshman. So, but if anybody has any questions, if there's something they want to ask or they might not understand, please, feel free to ask away. And we will try to answer any questions like, that are in regards to the school district and what happened the following year with the Linwood High School children, the kids and everything. So, but that is all.
See, I know that has come up many times, especially here recently. We've had people asking. So it was good to get that information out. And I know Jennifer is also very knowledgeable with that, all the research that she has put in, which Jennifer's just awesome anyway. But.
Yes, she is an incredible investigator, research person. The work that she puts in her maps and her documents, all the stuff that she does. Yes, she is awesome. Hands down.
Say, we brag about you, Jen, all the time. But guys, as Chrissy said earlier, tonight we would like to hear from you guys, your number one theory in Randy's case, and we could all discuss those and see where it takes us on those. And while that's going on, just a bit before we come on, Megan and I were talking, and April 15th is coming up. April 15th, that night, the morning of the 16th is when Randy went missing. So on April 15th at 7 p.m., it's a Saturday night, we are going to do a live feed that is dedicated to Randy Leach and the Randy Leach case. and I'm working on bringing in some people, some guests to join us. If you knew Randy or you were at the party that night and would like to join us on that live feed and discuss it, please reach out to us. But just put it in your calendars, April 15th, 7 p.m. And we will be doing a live stream that is fully dedicated to Randy and to Randy's case.
That was my line. No, I'm kidding.
You left us.
I know. I had to. Sorry. Okay.
But yeah, if anybody has a theory or an idea of what may have happened in Randy's case,
More
throw
than
that
welcome.
in the comments.
Absolutely.
And we will jump into that.
Mhm.
And with that, I do want to bring up one theory. And there was a person I was talking to on the phone, and this come up, and we kind of discussed it. I've had people reach out to me and tell me, and it's been people on social media and everything have said this. They felt that possibly Harold may have been involved in something that he shouldn't have been, and somebody done this to try to get Harold to toe the line. The issue I have with that is, if it was something bad enough that they made his son disappear, then, it wouldn't have stopped there with Randy, because nowhere does it seem Harold ever stopped trying to find Randy and started towing lines.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have stopped with just Randy. And the fact that nothing was broken into, nobody else was hurt other than their vehicle catching fire, there's been nothing else.
Because we had discussed that about the keys, and the key to the car more than likely had keys to the house, garages, barns, gates, whatever, So, and as far as we know, the second car, the incident where the car caught on fire, I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure that was the only other incident that ever happened after Randy had never came home. But I don't think there was ever reports of the house being broke into or another vehicle was, I'm sure on the set of keys that Randy had, there was probably a key to the truck. I'm sure Randy had his own set of keys, and, the truck was never, it was never reported that it was messed with or anything. So, yeah, that's something that we had discussed, that nothing else ever seemed to ever have happened or anything was messed with, that was, if we went down that path of, the speculations of Harold, they would have had the keys evidently, and evidently nothing ever happened, besides the car catching on fire, which they said it was the gas line. Wasn't it the gas line? And the gas line leaked gas on the manifold or something, and it caught on fire. And we all know gas has to have a spark. It has to have a sort of ignition to start. You can boil gas and it won't catch on fire.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Matt has a good point there too. If Harold was involved in something he shouldn't have, and that led to this, Harold would have disappeared at some point.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen anything that makes me believe that this is what happened. This is the whole deal. So as far as that possibility, we don't rule anything out unless we can prove beyond shadow of a doubt it did or did not happen.
Yeah.
But this would probably be the last theory on my list.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to.
And Max says, yes, there has to have been a spark.
Right.
Yeah, I know we've tested that before out on the concrete. with the cigarette, and we poured some gas out and threw the cigarette in, and it never ignited.
Yeah.
Jennifer says Harold never stopped looking, and he wasn't quiet about it. If that theory had any
Credence.
there would
have been other threats or attacks.
Yeah, because he was, I mean, if he thought somebody may be involved, he had no problem being vocal about it.
Right. And I would agree. That's, your child, you're going to, absolutely. Because Bobby said someone set the car on fire while they were in the house.
Yes. I don't remember the actual document, which I'm sure if Dennis, would know, or I mean, Jen would know. The car, was it the tires? Was the car?
The tire.
Was the car?
According to Alberta told me the tire was on fire.
Oh my goodness.
But the car wasn't a total loss, though, right?
That I never did hear. They were told that there was a gas leak, and the tire got too hot or something and caused it to light. And they were in the house when that took place, and they seen the glow out the window.
Right.
The neighbor called. They saw the smoke all the way down at their house, and they got out, and it was the tires.
It takes a lot more than that to get a tire to ignite.
Yeah,
right. That's what I was thinking. Like, oh my goodness. Black smoke across the road. The neighbor called.
And it was the Chrysler LeBaron.
Right. My goodness, that would take an awful lot.
Yes.
Jeez.
And I'm surprised once it started, people a mile away wasn't calling, because that puts off a lot of smoke.
Now,
I said it had a broken brake line.
Yeah, Bobby said,
talk about what caused the house where the party was at to catch fire?
It was reported that it was arson, and it looked like somebody had poured propellant all the way down the hallway into the furnace room, and that was what caused. That was the first fire, though.
Right.
The fire that burned it to the ground, we don't know.
Jen made a good comment there. The car would have been a result of Harold pissing someone off while conducting his investigation.
That could be. And it took the fire marshal weeks to come out and say it was a ruptured gas line.
Yeah, arson 1 year and 5 months later. Goodness. Brake fluid will burn. Yeah.
It will, but there's going to have to be. And if it was from driving, heating it up, that's going to ignite brake fluid, they're going to smell that when they get home.
Right.
And Harold seems like the type of guy, if he smells something like that, he's going to investigate it and see what it is.
I think Harold evidently was a mechanically inclined person, because he worked on lawnmowers and chainsaws.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They had a little shop, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. And
I'm sure he dealt with dry rotted fuel lines, chainsaws and weed eaters and lawnmowers and so, I have my opinion is he had to have been a mechanically inclined person. And his actual job, didn't he work in Bonner at the, what was it?
It was a concrete plant, wasn't it?
Concrete or it was right there in Bonner, and it was on the east side of K32 on the north side of the road. And it was some type of concrete or I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it's a concrete plant or a masonry plant that made some type of what's the three things you need to make?
Let's see. You need there's lime, there's I didn't make it. I just laid brick with it.
Stuff you put in there that makes it hard.
Anybody?
Would that be the line?
No. Oh, what the heck? I can't remember.
Formaldehyde?
There it is. No.
We used to use formaldehyde, but I think it was more for slowing down the process of hardening when I did texture coatings.
No, it's oh, what the heck? I'll think of it as soon as we're done. It'll hit me and I'll remember what it's called.
Mark says gasoline on a hot manifold could ignite gasoline.
See, and Mark, I hope you don't mind me saying this. Mark is a firefighter.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
that would be likely coming from experience
Right.
there.
Max says brake fluid stinks. So there's another
Yes,
one.
it
You'd
does.
smell it, yeah. And yes, a home shop, Randy, would help them quite a bit.
See, other than arson, what could have reasonably caused the ignition? And Mark's seen
Plenty of car fires, yeah. Okay, Bobby says if the gas line was broken by the gas tank or the car, it would have blown up, but brake fluid will not spark a fire. That's what I was wondering, if it would blow up.
And brake fluid's still going to take quite a bit of heat to ignite. I mean, it would have to almost have a spark on it.
Right. Goodness.
So
Now, transmission fluid will ignite.
yeah.
Do you know that from experience?
In plenty of trucks at the mud races spitting on fire, and I had to put them out. So that will happen. I just honestly, I've never seen gas catch on fire on an exhaust manifold. Anything that's hot. I personally have never seen it, and so not to argue, with Mark's point, but that, I guess that's just something we'd have to look into 100%, one way or another. But a tire catching on fire takes a tremendous amount of it going, and to keep it going, to catch it, and then it'll take off like crazy. That's why tire fires are so hard to get out.
See, so if it wasn't arson, then what we're looking at, whatever would have caused this, it would have come from the heat and friction of driving it, which means it would have been smelling horrible. It would have been smoking when they got home. If they're both in the vehicle, they're getting out on each side of the vehicles. One of them would have seen smoke. They definitely would have smelled it.
Yeah.
So with that, personally, I don't think it was the case.
Is there anything in the reports that says from when they arrived home, how long after did this event take place?
I don't remember how long that was. Jennifer or Mark may know that information, but I don't remember how long it was.
Bless you. Bless you. Thank you. Mark says, I'm not sure.
It's definitely a good question.
Right.
It could help determine that.
Yep. Goodness.
I know I've ruptured a brake line before, and on top of having trouble stopping, which you would have had trouble with that, then just the smell of it, it's very obvious something's wrong.
Right. Yeah. It's bad that the only indication sometimes is a smell.
Yeah. And that's a bad smell.
Yeah.
I don't want to smell that
Yeah.
again.
Jen says, I wonder if pictures were ever taken. If the damage is more on the inner portion, it could be what the fire marshal stated. But if the damage is more on the outer sides, wouldn't that suggest arson?
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
I would just, you know, I guess in my mind, if I think about it, if someone just went up and threw gas on a rubber tire, the gas, if you ignited the gas, it would probably burn off the tire quicker than the tire would ignite and start.
Right.
Yeah.
But if someone left something there that had a constant flame, like a little torch or something like that, then once it started the process of the what we called at General Motors, the thermal event, once that started and it took over, then yeah, then it would fuel itself and then take off. So yeah, Jen's, you know, did the inside of it burn, and then, you know, they had it put out, or was the outside of it burned and the inside wasn't, or did the whole thing catch on fire and burn the fender and the inner fender and the wiring harness and the, you know, the radiator hoses, the heater core hoses,
Yeah.
you know, rubber brake line. I mean, we could go on, you know, and I guess in the end, it's just very vague. It's just a very vague account of what happened.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. And I agree, gas would have burned off before the tire would have ignited. But what if somebody had put like brake fluid on this and used a torch or something to get that hot enough to ignite? Would the brake fluid burn off faster than the tire catching on?
They would have to sit there with the torch, or the torch is still going to be there.
Because if they were still in the house for an extended period of time, though, they would have had time to sit there until it ignited.
Right.
But that is, I mean, that don't seem like that would be it, just the time that would take.
Question: when did this event take place? What time frame in the year? Wintertime, spring, fall, summer? And the reason I'm saying is, you know, was it late at night and was it cold out where Mr. and Mrs. Leach just came straight inside into their house, or was it the summertime? It was nice out. It was light out till 9 o'clock, 9:30. Do we have any account of when this actually took place? What time of the year? What month? So on and so forth. Just out of curiosity.
This will be a Jen or Mark answer.
Yeah. Go on, Ted. Go lay down.
Mark said fire department came, heavy smoke across the highway. Alberta said so far was probably totaled. And Mark says maybe time for another experiment. And Alex, this is an experiment we could do without a vehicle, just with a tire or two.
Yeah.
Mark said, Alberta said a comment about the weather. I forget. The neighbor saw the smoke, so must have been daytime. Fire department came, heavy smoke across the highway. It was probably totaled. Goodness.
But I guess in another thing we can say, was there ever another report of another car that replaced the Chrysler LeBaron if it was totaled? I mean,
that's where they bought the Dodge sedan that Randy was driving. It wasn't either, because this was after Randy went missing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Whoops.
This happened all after Randy was gone. This is the car that replaced the Dodge 600.
Right.
What?
Because, you know, and something else we can talk about is, you know, there was also, we had read somewhere that supposedly Harold's truck had been repainted. Was Harold's truck repainted because it was too close to the fire, and maybe the fire damage from the damage on his truck, and that's why it was repainted? because
Oh
we
my goodness.
That's a good point.
That's a very good. Yeah.
have
And
reports that his truck
91.
was it originally brown or red, and then it was blue or something.
Yeah. Jen says March 27th of 91.
Wow, that was quite a while.
yeah.
So that was my junior year of high school.
Okay, so now with that date
Good.
being so much further up,
That's
now I got to
almost
look at Jen's comment. Did somebody get mad at Harold for his investigation or thinking somebody done something?
Because Katie said what? Brown to blue. Mark said it was two-tone. Oh, goodness. And Mark said, I never heard of a replacement for the LeBaron.
that's almost 4 months or 4 years to the day. I mean, not quite to the day, but I mean, we're talking basically, April 16th, if we want to call it, of 88 to March 27th of 1991. That's almost 4 years.
And if you think about it, it could be someone that his anniversary's coming up. I've had enough of this. This is what I'm going to do to you. That could be, I don't know.
He
See?
could have
Yep.
offended someone or
Yeah.
accused someone.
So then we could go down looking at paperwork and documents and see who was being questioned in March of 1991. Is there any paper trail to follow of anybody that was being heavily questioned, that possibly could have led to that? Not saying it did. We're not going there. We're just saying
Yeah.
looking for a connection. So,
Oh, wow.
but I'm sorry. Did somebody make a comment when they thought Harold's truck had been painted?
Because Katie even asked it, when did he repaint the truck?
No, we have Katie asked, when did he repaint the truck?
Yeah.
And then Katie brown to blue and then Mark two-tone.
Yeah. That's a good. Does anybody know of the date when he did? Yeah.
I don't know if I was told a date other than just that it was painted.
Well, I would be curious to see if it was repainted because it was parked next to the car.
Yeah.
And it did end up having some paint damage due to the heat and the flames. If it was parked next to the car. So yeah, that would be interesting to find out. Does it make a hill of beans? Maybe not. Maybe it does. Just out of curiosity.
Right. We don't have much for the reports in February or March of 91.
Saying Noelle's mom, it's not letting Noelle's mom talk in the live chat.
Uh-oh.
It
Whoops.
doesn't even give her an option for it.
That is weird. It should be.
Oh, goodness. Is that what that was just now with you? And yep.
Is she
Does she have to be a member?
She's
Sure.
subscribed. She is subscribed.
Okay.
See, that is strange because it should be coming up. And Jennifer, do you know why Noelle's mom is having issues getting to the live chat?
Is it something we need to do or?
I'm not tech savvy
No.
at all, but
No.
we've had others coming on that
Right.
wasn't subscribed
Yeah.
or first time coming on, and they got
Yeah.
on it pretty easy. So
Yep. Jen says the truck being repainted came from word of mouth. They don't have an actual report.
you're saying that's the same here. I've had a couple people tell me that it had reportedly
Right.
been repainted, but I didn't see any reports or anything on that.
Okay.
Did the body shop that painted the Mustang and restored the Mustang, did they possibly paint the truck? I mean, they were doing business for the Leaches on Randy's car. I mean, you would kind of think that if they needed something painted or repaired, they just would have went back and talked to old Bobby Joe down there at the body shop. I mean,
Yeah.
possibly.
Okay. Mark says maybe her device needs to be updated or update the YouTube app. Lisa, can you see about that?
Jennifer says, ask, can she see the chat, like our comments or anything like that?
Can you see the chat?
I can't see anything unless someone highlights it.
Because I'd really like to get her on here.
You can't even see it.
Oh goodness. Well, anybody know how we fix that? Would it that one right there, or is that no? Because it'll probably take the whole screen.
Does she have a YouTube account where she can physically go and chat and carry on?
Do you have to have one of those to do that?
I thought if you didn't have a regular YouTube login sign in account, you can't participate in chats or anything. You can't even comment on a video. Is that true or false?
That's what I was wondering. Because I don't think I have one for my own, not this one, but my own. And I think I have been able to do that. And I don't have anything with YouTube except just getting on and looking.
Yeah, and
I don't know.
And as Jen is asking, is she going through YouTube or is she going through like StreamYard?
YouTube.
Wow.
I sent her the link to our live.
Okay.
I just had a report come across my phone that said UFOs are spotted in Florida.
Great.
They're coming to pick you up, Alex.
Everybody tonight.
Any Lee Ayers updates?
Okay. Right there.
No.
Okay. I wonder if she was actually accidentally banned or muted. And Mark says you have to be logged in to comment. Okay. Well, if they're coming for you, Alex, they're taking the scenic route first, going through Florida and whatnot.
Maybe they'll stop by.
You're logged into that account.
Right. Stop at Disney World and all the good stuff first.
She does have a YouTube account. I just told her to make sure she's logged into it.
Okay. Well, that's frustrating. My goodness.
Because Mark asked, I wonder if she was accidentally banned or muted.
Right.
But if she was, she wouldn't be able to see the video at all.
Well, this is frustrating.
Mark, I don't think there's been any updates on anything on the local news or anything about Lee, unfortunately.
No.
Okay, look at Jen's comment.
No.
Oh. Well, Dennis not drinking Pepsi or soap water. Dr. Pepper must be broke.
Hey, I bought that boat motor and sonar.
Yeah.
It's slim pickings now.
Mark says, Alex, I've been looking all around for an 85 Dodge 600.
I'm telling you what, I have searched and searched and searched, looked and looked, because we're getting so close to the date. And we had found a Chrysler New Yorker, which was built off the same chassis, same basic car. And then we did find a very, very nice we did find a Dodge 600. It was very nice. It was a beautiful car.
You have to be logged in.
Wanted like $4,500 or $5,000 for it, and I have a hard time spending $5,000 on something we're going to destroy.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't think we were going to have this hard of a time trying to find one.
Right.
Have you thought about scrap yards?
I have actually. There was 2 or 3 of them on eBay that were being parted out, and I had messaged them, and one of them replied and said, "No, we are parting the car out. There's not enough left of it to sell as a whole." The other 2 people didn't even respond to me. But we did find we found a Chrysler New Yorker that needed some work, and I reached out to them again, and I have not received anything back. So I take it probably sold, and that was the car that was down by Bobby. And then we had the very nice blue 85 Dodge 600, and they wanted like 4,500 or $5,000. Car was immaculate. I mean, the car is like, looks like it's brand new, and I have a hard time spending that kind of money around to destroy it. So,
Right.
But so what there was a Dodge 600, there was a Chrysler New Yorker, and then there was a Plymouth. Was it a Varanel or a Varnal or something? So there was actually 3 versions of the car by Chrysler, Plymouth, and Dodge in 1985. But yeah, I mean, I look here, I look all over. You know, I spend probably at least an hour a day on Marketplace looking. You know, and even trying to find. I mean, you know, I really tried finding the exact car, and that fortunately finding a you know, one that I feel comfortable destroying with the money invested into this. You know, but there's just nothing out there. I mean, literally, I think they're all gone. I hate, you know, well, I shouldn't say they're all gone, because I'm on like 4 or 5 of the Facebook groups that deal with those cars and the K cars, and they act like they're the unicorns of sliced bread. And I mean,
So you make those guys for them mad.
I had 2 or 3 people that cussed me out left and right, and they were like, "Well, you're just trying to find the car that blah blah blah." I'm like, "No, I'm not. We're not trying to find the exact car. We're trying to find one that we can destroy for research purposes and recreate some of these situations, these scenarios, these accusations, and try to recreate this stuff. And yes, in the end, the car will be destroyed."
I mean, you're kind of plain and simple right there. I don't understand why they're having such a hard time here. And I don't get it.
Woman, she called me out and cussed me out, and I did. I gave her the VIN number to the car. I said, here's the VIN number. I said, I'm not trying to find the actual car. I've never have tried that, because that's a lost cause. I said, we're trying to find one that we can use to recreate what people have thought have happened. You know, and yeah, people just they're too temperamental about those cars. I mean, they get off the handle upset and cuss you out and everything else. So yes, as of this point, this time right now, at this time of the day and night, no, we are still carless. And I've had people say, "Hey, just go find a Dodge Neon and do it. You know, go get an old beat up Cavalier and do it." And I'm like, "No, I really want to find the exact possible closest car. That way, when we do these things, somebody doesn't say, 'Oh, well, you used a Chevy Cavalier.' That's probably not how it really would have happened." And that's why I've tried so hard to find the actual exact car to do this experiment that we want to do.
Right.
So yes, if people are bored and have free moments of time, and if you find something, please let us know. You know, like I said, there's that really nice blue one out there that is absolutely looks like it just rolled off the showroom floor.
Yeah, I seen that one.
It is. It's immaculate. I mean,
Yes, it is.
and we're gonna bury this car. We're gonna drag it through a pond
Yeah.
to show like going in a pond and it being in the
Right.
water. I really hate to spend that kind of money to just destroy something. I'd rather buy a junk one that's destined for the scrapyard, but somebody will probably be upset.
Yeah.
So,
If you want to say let it know.
and the clock is ticking. We are. It's clicking fast, and so I don't. Just maybe there'll be a miracle happening. Somebody will call and say, "Hey, I got one. You can have it. Come get it, or I'll bring it to you." Maybe when Bobby brings us that boat, he can pull the boat with it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Bobby will pull up, and he'll be our savior for that day.
Right.
He's gonna have a catfish pulling the boat.
And Cam says, just a question, could Dan Flanagan be involved with Steve Doherty? And down here,
Okay.
could that be what Dan Flanagan mentioned about this happened 30 years in a fit of anger?
Yeah.
Now, I have seen reports that Steve and Dan did know each other to some extent. I don't know to what extent. And the 30 years ago in a fit of anger has always been concerning because it was like literally 30 years from the time he said that to the time Randy went missing.
Yeah.
I think at this point we look at everything, and I think everybody else looks at everything. I think everybody has one idea, one thought, one accusation, and fortunately Dan's name does get brought up into this a lot.
Hey, what did I do?
I was waiting for you to make a comment like that. But no, that's true, Alex. It's very true.
I find it pretty weird you can't find out anything on him anymore.
Yeah.
I find the background.
Maybe it's all been wiped clean.
Nothing.
Yeah.
That's so like exactly what do you mean, Dan?
Nothing. You can't find nothing.
Like he's been erased from the X-Files?
There is no information with his name connected to it. No criminal record, no nothing.
Wow.
No address.
Maybe they told him it would get all wiped clean or something. I don't know if they can do that.
Some sort of. The only way somebody's information just disappears is if they go into witness protection. That's the only way. It even shows people that passed away. So,
Goodness.
is there a possibility he is helping the state to reduce his previous charges?
See, that's a good deal. Like they said, what was the whole deal about? You tell us this and we'll, you know what I mean?
Right.
See what I'm trying to say here? So, yeah.
And if they're trying to bring down a big ring and he has that information, they're going to have to protect him so he'll testify in court.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And when they do that, you don't exist no more. It's a theory, but it's awfully strange that I can't find nothing on them.
That's very interesting.
That plan again. Scroll up. Or down, I'm sorry. That Flanagan and Randy. Bobby says, I'm thinking that Flanagan and Randy had harsh words. Okay. What did Mark say?
Bobby.
I'm going to see how many cases of soap. What? How many cases of soap, water, Dr. Pepper, and Pepsi would fit in the cabin on a boat?
And Catfish keeps bringing up my hat.
Yeah,
Catfish,
this hat.
When we meet you getting this boat, you can have the hat, man. I will give it to you.
Put
Katie
some
says,
itching powder in it first.
Katie says Dan Flanagan is in the cop's pocket 100%. Let's see. Yeah, Merck's possibly. Very good theory. What else is there? What's under what's Lisa's? Sheriff Eddie Ferris, background has been cleared. It takes someone to power to. Okay, Lisa said Sheriff Eddie Ferris of Putnam County, Tennessee. Oh, background has been cleared. It takes someone empowered to clean or clear a background. Right.
Well, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
That this happened. So,
Oh, Jen says it's still on Kansas Department of Corrections. It just pulled it up. You offered $100 for that hat, Dan?
Just to raise Bobby's price.
wait a minute now. We can't be jeopardizing this boat that Bob.
Right.
Say Catfish is bringing a
Yeah,
boat.
yeah. So it's still on Kansas Department of Corrections then.
And then when you do a public record search, though, everything comes
Yeah.
back not on file.
Yes. Goodness. Katie says Dan did a plea deal. Sold to Dan. What kind of car are you looking for, Alex? That was Lisa.
So we are looking for a 1985 Dodge 600 4-door sedan. Or our number 2 choice would be a 1985 Plymouth. I want to say it's a Caravelle is what they called it, because it still shared the same fascia on the front and on the rear. And number 3 would be a Chrysler New Yorker. The Chrysler New Yorker, the front fascia and the rear fascia was different looking, but it's still the same basic car.
Mark says that hat could possibly catch on fire without gasoline or brake fluid. Megan is in the other room. I just heard her go, mm-hmm.
All that DNA, it's in that hat.
Well, I know it, right?
all these years.
See, I've had this hat now for
80 years.
At least 14
Right.
years.
Yeah.
Since Brantley was born.
Yeah. Hey, Meg, did I have this hat when we met?
Yeah, your dad gave it to me.
Oh.
Oh.
So it's over 14 years.
And his dad gave it to him. So, yeah.
So we're looking at 15, 16
Yeah.
years at least.
That's pretty impressive. I don't even keep women around that long.
Oh, Alex.
Who's that behind you, Alex?
I'm trying to see if Tammy's in there.
I know.
Anyway.
Where is Tammy? Get her on the phone, Meg, right now.
Hey, we got video evidence of Alex saying that we're going to be searching for Alex soon.
Yeah.
Mark, we're going to need your help with this because I
Yeah.
don't know if we'll ever find him.
Oh, my goodness.
She does know how.
It says, ouch, Alex.
Yeah. I probably.
Wow.
Yeah, you're going, oh, what have I done?
Wow, I'm not even gutsy enough to say that with Megan.
Jen, as Tammy comes in with the slap.
He's watching the reflection in the screen to make sure.
I know, right? Are you constantly like checking behind you?
One of the kids just messaged me, and they're at the lot where all the cows are up, and it said one of the cows is down.
Uh-oh.
Mm.
So That's what I was reading across the top of my phone. And he
Oh,
says I can't get Pinky up. She's down on the ground. So,
Oh
oh
man.
no.
so. But well,
Oh, Lisa just said found an 84 600 two-door.
yeah, so I actually have found 2 doors. The 2 doors seem to be more readily available than a 4 door. But like I said, trying to keep it as legit, keeping it as correct as possible, we need a 4-door car because that's what he had was a 4-door car.
Because Mark said yes, the two-door convertibles are very popular. It was a convertible?
No,
Or just
The
the
two-door
two-door is?
was.
Oh, okay.
It's a
Okay.
complete different.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say it was a convertible?
You can find the
Yeah.
convertibles all day long.
yeah,
And
2 doors.
as Mark says, different chassis, different.
Right,
I know I
right.
don't say that right, but
It's
different
all right.
weight.
Yep.
Yeah, the 2 doors convertibles are pretty plentiful. They're still around. The 4-door sedan, the 4-door version of it is evidently not. So yeah, that's where we're just having so many issues. And I just really think that they're just, for one, I don't think there was high production numbers of them to begin with. And two, just as many times as if we've had all these, cash for clunkers and people were just junking stuff, taking stuff to the scrappers, and they just got wore out. I just think they're just gone.
Just weird.
So
Either that or those guys in those groups on Facebook have them all and they ain't coming off of them.
yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully, we get lucky. Hopefully something'll happen, just as of right now, it's just not looking promising. And we've talked about this so many times in doing this, and it's something nobody else has done in Randy's case. And I just really honestly think it would open up a lot of answers. I think by us doing this and trying to show everybody else in the research world that, hey, this is what it did. This is what it looked like when we drove it through the tall grass. This is what it looked like when we drove it through the brush on the side of the highway. This is what it looked like when the car went off in the water. This is what the grass looked like. This is what the mud going into the pond looked like. This is what it looked like when the car was, upside down. Hold on one second. Hey, Pinky's down.
37,381.
She's on the ground.
4-door sedans were made.
3,700.
1984.
Okay. Why don't we just try to find one that is exact weight and size?
The other thing is just trying to find a car of that time period. Maybe, and I hate to, if we found like a Ford Tempo that is it close in weight, or
Right.
Whatever Chevrolet GM products that were made in that time period that were the same equivalent to that type of small sedan car. I just, my thought is I'm not worried about us failing in doing this experiment because I know we're gonna prove things. We're gonna get answers. I just don't want the repercussions. I just don't want people to say, "Well, you guys used a Ford Tempo. Come on now." I don't want to do that. I really want to find the most exact match. And from what I read, those 3 cars did all come off the same production lines. They were all based off the same chassis. The drivetrain was all the same. The doors, the fenders, the quarter panels, the hood, the trunk lid, they were all the same. The only difference was the front fascia, which is the nose cone of the car, the grill area, the bumper. So the front fascia was different on the Chrysler New Yorker, supposedly, and the rear fascia, the tail lights, the bumper, the trim, that was different on the Chrysler New Yorker. But as most everything else, it was the same car. So I would say we're talking within 100 pounds, couple 100 pounds of the, from a Dodge 600 4-door sedan to a Chrysler New Yorker of the same year, version. So
Yeah, but couldn't you either add or take away weight?
we could. I mean, absolutely. We could always take away stuff and go to the nearest, truck stop and weigh it and be like, yeah, it's spot on. We're within 1 pound.
Right.
But that is the, I guess that is my way of trying to avoid all that, because somebody will just say, you guys are wrong. That didn't happen that way. It couldn't have happened that way. Blah, 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 and that way we do have the close to exact same car that, yeah, we're live. But if we were the exact car, no one can dispute what we're trying to prove. If we run the car off the side of the road through the ditch and through the weeds and the grass and, hit a tree with it on one of the final things, someone's not going to sit there and say, well, that couldn't have happened that way. No, it just did. We just proved it to you.
Right.
Documented and showed what the exact car would have done on April 15th or 16th.
Right.
And that's what we're desperately trying to prove or disprove all these different things from the, could the car have gone into a pond? Could the car have gone into a creek? Could he have ran off the road and he's sitting in the car for 35 years off the side of the highway, 300 woods?
Yep.
This is things that we want to try to prove or disprove. That way we can move on. We can move on in the investigation and start looking at other things, and, our focuses might change. If we do all these things and we say, I just don't think this ever happened this way, then we move on. We start focusing our attention on something else.
Yep.
Right.
Right.
If we do find out answers, and then we look at each other and we're all like, well, we missed this.
Yeah.
Could have happened. Then we have that information. And that's something that we have to put over here in this pile of our top 5 or our top 10 things that we think happened to him. So, sorry, I didn't mean to go on a
No, you're fine.
3-hour.
My goodness.
So with you guys, just a quick question. Do you think he's in water or not?
Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
I mean, Dennis, you know how I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, my head and my heart, I feel I know where he's at. We know where that goes.
Mark said accident in the water. That was Mark.
Chrissy?
I don't think he's in water.
If I personally want to think he's in the water, then I have to think outside of Linwood. I feel if he's in water, he had to have been going somewhere out of town and something happened because he was either intoxicated, he was, what drugs he had taken or something. That's where I want to say okay, I can say, yeah, he might be in the water, but what if he's out towards Lawrence? Or what if he's over towards Base or somewhere in the north side? Or what if he's over in KCK and he was going somewhere and he went somewhere that direction? Because like I said, I had asked Keith, and I've explained this to you all. I asked Keith one day, him and I were talking, and I said, where did you and your dad go when we were flying around? And he said, I don't know. All I can tell you is my dad told me to keep my head out the window and look at the ground and look for Randy's car. And that's what I did. He honestly could not remember if they went north towards, Baser, or they went, in a northwesterly area towards Tonganoxie. Did they go over towards DeSoto? He just said they went all around all the local ponds. They went to the rivers. They went to the creeks, and that's what they were doing that day, But could he, give him a map and have him draw where they went? I don't know. He said no, because I was looking out the window for Randy in his car. That's what my dad and the pilot, told us to do. Keep your head out and look down as we're flying around and see if you see something. So
now the property owner where the party was, is she the only one that said that he was that intoxicated, or did other people in the party say he was pretty intoxicated as well?
See, that's the thing. There were a lot of people who come out and said he was intoxicated. Then you had several that come out and say that he wasn't.
Right.
But there's more people that says he was intoxicated than those who say that he wasn't.
Okay. Mark just said he was so intoxicated, couldn't have made it far. Multiple people said he was wasted. Doubt he could have kept it straight for a couple blocks on a unlit gravel road.
That's why I asked that question.
So Jen made a comment. Can you replicate the issue with the seat recall? So exactly what was the seat recall? So, because I think I've heard of that being brought up before, but I actually don't know what the recall was. Did it have an issue with it saying locked? I mean,
oh my goodness. Bobby just made a good comment here. Here's a question for everyone. How many waterways and lakes that's been searched and cleared? I know for a fact there's over 100 lakes there that has not been searched or cleared.
Right. And even the ones that have been, sonar is incredible. I mean, it is so accurate and so great, but it does still have its flaws. And if you hit something at the wrong angle or something, it may not pull up, or it may look like something completely different that you're getting bits and pieces of.
Right.
It would never think that was a vehicle. And unless you like spend all day on a pond hitting it from every angle, there's no real way to know for sure. 99% of the time it's going to be accurate the first time, but there's always that slim chance that something's missed.
Jen says about 90%, 97% of people said he was messed up. So,
and also back to Bobby's comment about so many bodies of water. At this point, everybody's thought was always it had to have happened right around the general Linwood area. So yeah, there is hundreds of farm ponds and other creeks and other lakes. Yeah, there is, but there's never been a reason to go outside of the general area, because there was never any reports or anything like that would give any reason to really go that far out of the general area. I mean, it's just like Wyandotte County Lake, or Truman Lake, or I mean, I think in the past Perry Lake's been brought up.
right.
Leavenworth County Lake, Olathe, Lake, Shawnee Lake. Shawnee Mission Lake, all.
Yeah.
But there's never no evidence. There's never any reasons to go outside of the general box to look for him, because this is what we've always thought of.
In Katie's comment, Morning Deer Road ponds need checked. It's a dead end side road on 166, just northwest of the party. We actually do have it on our list to go there and speak with the property owners to get permission to get those ponds searched as well.
And then Mark said within the 5 mile. Oh, will you go back over there, please? Okay. Within the 5 mile radius, there are tons of lakes, most on private property. Would be great to search them all with the state of the art sonar in a few days, but we will need Alberta's help to get permissions.
And he said no one will say no to her. You would think that, but she has had some say no. But definitely that would be a big help if she would.
Wait, what? You got it?
Katie, Robert was talking about Morning Deer Road. Chris Ballsworth lived in this street. Leanne mentioned Ayers was jealous of him.
Katie said, I can also try to help getting permission. I may know someone who knows someone.
That would be awesome. Yes. And our new inflatable boat, the website said 2 to 3 weeks. Hopefully it's sooner than that with registration, but also on ponds, private ponds, you don't need the registration. So we would definitely, that would be awesome, Katie. We would definitely love to come get those searched.
Okay, here's the recall that you wanted. I'll send you the recalls tomorrow, but one is a seat recall causing the back of the seat to go backwards and ball joint causing loss of control.
Ooh.
Oh, goodness.
Interesting.
So you're driving the car down the road and the back of the seat somehow comes out of the fixed position. You can literally fall backwards while driving control. And
great.
you have a ball joint or something that comes apart on the front suspension of the car, then yes, you can lose control and crash for sure.
Hey, Brent, how's it going? Brent says, I have searched one on Morning Deer with the magnet, the large one that borders the property of Bosworth.
I'm assuming Randy's car was a front bench seat because at some point he laid across it in the night. Was it a bench seat?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We had the
right
brochure for it.
You have
Go grab that.
Okay, he's gonna go and get the brochure for the car to see if it is. Yeah. Jen, I guess Brent just confirmed. Bosworth potentially lived on the street. I haven't had that confirmed. Wow, that's horrible about that seat. Goodness.
Yeah, could you imagine the seat giving way and the ball joint at the same time?
Oh my goodness. It'd be my luck.
There'd be no way to control that car. And being intoxicated on top of that?
Right.
Hey, I wonder if we can call. This is probably a really far off thought that this would happen. I wonder if we call the Dodge dealer, give them the VIN number to the car, and ask them if they can look up on a past recall notice if the car had ever had the recall notices fixed under warranty, as a recall notice. I'm just curious. I might
Right.
do that.
Hi, Bridget. I'm glad you finally made it through there, hon.
Yay!
Yay. Katie, Jesus, take the wheel. Yeah. Bridget's on here. She was finally able to get on here.
Nice.
Okay.
This one does have a bench seat. And then this one does not.
So either it was a column shift or it had a console shift. Depending on what style of shifter it had in it, you either had a full seat or you had bucket seats with a fold down armrest.
There's your difference. The convertibles had bucket.
Ah.
The other ones had the bench seat.
Jen says, would a gravel road increase the chances of the recall issue happening? Well, you're bumping around and everything. I probably wouldn't doubt it.
Because this is another 2-door that's 2 bucket seats there. But the 4-door has the bench seat in the front.
Just scroll back up. You can see everybody's.
She had something to say about her daughter's case, but she wasn't able to comment.
Okay. Here it goes. Oh, that's Bobby. Okay. Yep, there she is.
Hey, Bridget. Hey, you're more than welcome to comment anything on that case. If
Absolutely.
You like, anything you're comfortable with sharing.
I'm glad you finally got through.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, hey, Alex.
Yeah.
Tell Denny what you said about what you just told us.
Oh, I just wondered if I called the Dodge dealer because I'm friends with the owner of the Dodge dealer in Platte City. I wonder if I call him and give him the VIN number to the car and ask him if they ever fixed on that car, if he's able to pull it up, that age of the car, if he's able to pull up the VIN number and see if the recalls were ever fixed on it.
See, that's a good idea. And if he doesn't know, as Catfish is saying over here, you could call the Dodge manufacturer company as well.
Yeah.
But that dealer should be able to use the VIN number, pull that up and see.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't be able to. I mean, I had a recall on my truck just a while back.
Mark says, okay. Jen, what did Burns say about putting Randy in his car?
I'm wondering if this is when he set him in his car and left to take someone home and was coming back to get him.
Thank you, Katie. Said my uncle owns Olathe Ford. They're at car auctions all the time. I'll give him a description and tell him to keep an eye out. Did Burns put Randy in his car before Leanne put him in her car?
With what Leanne said, yes, because he went missing right after she said she put him in her car.
Yeah.
And Lisa said that the dealer can on her 98 Jeep, so she's pretty sure they can.
Okay. So, Bridget just said, I was trying to say that there was a I can never say that word. Ligature. There we go. Ligature mark, no V mark, just a slight rise on the back of the neck. It was more of a ligature mark of a strangulation, not consistent with a hanging ligature mark. Oh my goodness.
You see, and that would be consistent with feet on the ground and the knees bent as well.
Right. Oh my goodness, honey.
And Mark says that's $1 million question, Cam.
Yeah. deepest sympathies go out to you, honey. We just redid her. We looked over the case again, and it broke my heart. So, goodness.
See the other comments, see if I missed anything.
No, you're pretty much caught up. Yeah.
Wow, it's been 2 hours and 15
Yeah, I know.
minutes. Maybe Noelle was
Her daughter's in there partying because it's not her bedtime yet.
I know, right? Are the kids in bed yet, Meg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And granted, I still got a lot of looking into on Noelle's case, but my initial thought was she was unconscious when she was put there at the tree.
Right.
In my opinion, for sure unconscious, possibly deceased at the time, but for sure unconscious.
Right.
I seen a picture of when her boyfriend beat her. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. She said the boyfriend also said that she was drugged with ketamine. Wait, I'm sure everybody knows what that is.
So sad.
Right.
Can you still see me?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Why? Can you not see us? We're
No,
only making faces at you.
No, I'm pulling up the toxicology report right now.
Oh, okay.
Who's that guy behind you, Dan? Can you introduce him?
That's my invisible friend. He's supposed to be invisible.
Seeing Jennifer says Burns told Randy to sit in the car and lay down. Randy laid down in the front seat. Mark says Burns' statement says that Randy laid down in the front seat of his car, so probably a bench seat. See, that's what the flyer or the brochure for the vehicle was showing too. Was the 4-door was the bench seat, the 2 doors was the
Right. And she says, which explains why she had no signs of fighting the rope around her neck. Exactly.
Now, do you know if her hands were bound in any way through this or not?
What did Bobby say? The body will bruise up to 30 minutes after death, Lisa said. Ugh.
And Mark said
He's
Randy was
guy.
a big guy, so he's not going to lay down on 2 bucket seats. That would have had
No.
to have been bench seat.
Goodness.
Catfish. Well, yeah, Dennis has broken the live record for 2023, the longest he's been live. I think we had one last year that went longer.
But he's saying for this year.
For this year, yeah. Last year, we almost hit 3 hours or something last year.
Do what, Alex?
I said last year we did one that was like 3+ hours because didn't it shut us off, warning you that it was going to shut us off?
Yeah.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Methanol, ethanol, isopropanol, acetone.
Yeah. It was a big mixture. It's a big cocktail. And she said there were strap marks, like marks on wrists. I totally butchered that. There was strap marks on wrists. Wow, I really butchered that.
Okay, now I can see you guys again. Quit making faces.
Well, that guy is still standing behind you there, so.
I know, he's my invisible friend. He keeps talking to my ear.
Don't worry, Dan. That's just catfish.
Yeah.
He snuck up on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. He slides
So
in.
she did. She had marks on her wrists.
So that would be consistent of being bound.
Right. God. I can't even imagine it. Goodness.
I'll take a look and see what the combination of them drugs will do to a body when we get done here.
Okay.
It's better than a catfish getting your tongue, Bobby.
Yeah. Oh, she said the medical examiner said they did not test for ketamine, which would need to be done within a certain time period.
Yep, and it was not tested for.
When one tries to hang themselves, they will automatically try to pull the rope loose, resulting scratch marks on the neck. Right, Alex?
I would think so. If you were conscious and you
I would try.
Right.
Yeah.
you would be frantically trying to get yourself out of that situation.
Right.
And I would think that you would be trying to pull or doing something. You would have scratch marks and dig marks where you were trying to get your fingers in there, to loosen it up. And
Unless she was deceased post hanging.
Yeah.
Or before hanging.
Unfortunately, that's what it does kind of sound like at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It sounds like she was drugged with the rope, and then the rope was thrown up over the tree. They pulled her up, and then someone probably held her. Then they threw the rope over again, and it wasn't tight enough, and that gave her the relaxed position with her knees bent, and that's how they found her, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I really like that. Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
Oh my goodness, yes. Yeah, that makes perfect sense, Alex. That's why I can, yeah.
That's kind of the way it sounds. And it I would say more than likely it would have to be two people involved.
Right.
At least
And there was, I forget how many, at least two people at the house. The boyfriend and the person that was in the back room, 100% I know was there.
Right. So there was an extra person there then.
And
The boyfriend and
trying to say
person that lived in the house.
No DNA on the rope to look for the other people's DNA from their hands, or because let's be honest, if they're pulling on this rope trying to pull somebody's body up and over a tree branch and somebody holding, there would have to be something like DNA on some of that. But if they all came to the same conclusion that she committed suicide, then of course they wouldn't have looked into it.
Right.
So,
goodness.
And it still raises the question of, if this is suicide, why not close the investigation if that's what they know it is? Why is it still open to the point that they don't have to share it? Now, Dan, did you say they closed the case?
Yes. Bridget's mom said they closed the case after that news article was written. Lisa, I did see the tree.
What? Bridget just said there were 3 witnesses on an abandoned school next door. I spoke to one of them and he said he was told to be paid. He was paid to be there. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding? Oh my goodness. Okay, so Why would they be paid to be there?
To act as a witness.
Right. That'd be the only. Wow. And who was the one that go up a little bit? Marks, is that Marks?
Yeah.
Okay. Said that there should be
No.
DNA, or Max, excuse me. There should be DNA on that rope.
Yep.
Yeah. And Lisa, does law enforcement still have that rope? And that rope doesn't appear to be able to sustain weight because that was a
Right.
flimsy looking rope.
And the way they just kind of just tossed it.
Mm-hmm. It kind of looked like that twine you use for
Really? Like crafts and stuff?
Clotheslines.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And Jennifer asks if you can get that witness to do a signed affidavit with his statement.
Right.
Wow.
Wow.
It's
Oh
crazy.
my goodness.
So sorry this has happened.
Bridget, again. Oh my goodness, honey. We are just, oh. Clotheslines stretch.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Noelle's last conversation from jail was with me that had to pay a debt. That she had to pay a debt. Oh my goodness. Right there. That just sealed it for me. What do you guys think? Oh my goodness.
I just don't understand why the boyfriend wasn't looked at
Right.
with the past abuse.
Exactly. Past abuse. That alone, I would.
Could this be a situation of there's a bigger fish to fry?
Right.
It kind of seems that way.
I mean, if he was overlooked, it was overlooked because he had possible connections in the drug world bigger, and therefore, if they went after him, they weren't going to continue on the pathway of trying
Correct.
to fish.
Right.
So
They still need him to be a CI.
yeah,
Because he's going after the bigger fish.
yeah.
Goodness.
Now, could she have been a CI against her boyfriend, possibly?
Right. That was a big, yeah. He is and has said he works with the sheriff's department. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Bridget said, I knew it was not a money debt.
No, I think it's more along the lines of they were worried that she might out them.
Goodness.
Well, I think we should revisit this situation on another episode, and
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
her mother would like to join us, and we have an update on things and keep our support for her, what's going on, to hopefully get some truth out of the situation.
That's right. Absolutely.
Right. We will definitely be doing an update video later this week once we get more information on this. And at any time that you would like to join us live on here to discuss this case, you're welcome anytime.
Right. Absolutely. Oh, she said currently he lives now in the fire chief's house down the street from the location.
Because his house was burnt down. The house where it happened at.
Right. Goodness.
the house where this took place that happened to her, that house is burned down.
Oh my goodness. It's one thing after another with this. My goodness. Jen says, carry a legal pad with you and know where all your notaries are. If you're speaking to people and they're willing to write their statements down, take them to a notary immediately. Very good, Jen. I'm glad you said that. Thank you. Oh, Lisa, you know we would. You're absolutely welcome. You know we were going to do that.
And guys, I hope Lisa don't mind this. Lisa is the one who contacted me.
Right.
Because this story is so similar.
Oh my goodness. You're not kidding.
And while this normally isn't the type of case we work on,
right,
when these cases come up and we see this and we have questions off the bat, we're going to do everything we can to try to help.
Oh my goodness, yes. Oh my goodness. Now this is going to bother me all night. I'm going to replay this in my mind. Wow.
But guys, we will continue digging into this and definitely want to talk to you some point this week. I get off work at 3:30 p.m. Monday through Friday.
6, so.
So you do have my number. Welcome to reach out anytime. If I am at work, they're just going to have to
leave them.
Understand I'm doing something a little bit more important. I'm speaking with a family member here.
Lisa says it's a damn shame that we have and are being put through this. Absolutely. Goodness.
So guys, we will definitely update you later this week on this as we've got more information.
And again, Bridget, thank you for hanging in there and getting it all fixed so we could talk to you. And all of our sympathies and prayers are with you. So.
Mark says Randy Leach will be found this spring. We all keep working all of the angles and theories, whether foul play or accident. That is the goal, Mark, for sure.
Yep. All right.
So, guys, with that, don't forget April 15th, 7 p.m., we will be doing the Randy Leach episode.
Right. Well, you're welcome, hon. Absolutely.
Yes, check out Jennifer on Hidden Truths tomorrow night over on Facebook, going live, going over the police reports.
That's right.
I have been able to watch some of these live, and Jen is doing incredible with that. So definitely check her out over there.
All right. Well, goodness. Ugh.
So with that, guys, we will go ahead and call it a night. Thank you for joining us again. And you guys be safe. Anything you guys want to add?
Yep.
I'm just lost for words again.
Right.
So sad that some of the stuff that these young people go through.
Dan, anything else?
No, I'd just like to see these laws passed.
Yep.
I'd also like to see Kansas's public records law changed.
Oh my goodness, that's no lie.
75 years is a joke.
Correct.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You're welcome, Mark. Anytime. Anytime.
So guys, with that, you have a good night. Stay safe, and we will catch you guys down the road.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.